Starting in Joshua chapter 18, the Israelites, the 7 remaining tribes that hadn't received their allotment of the promised land, they're gathering together, and Joshua is casting lots to decide who's going to get which piece of land. So Benjamin got the first one, and the second one came up and went to Simeon. Now, I don't exactly know how this worked, but the Bible tells us as we get into Joshua chapter 19, which is when Simeon gets theirs, that Simeon's land was actually a part of the land that had already belonged to Judah. But it says that Simeon received some of Judah's land because Judah had too much land, like more than they needed. They had an overflow, they had an abundance, and because they had too much land, they let it be part of the casting of the lots, and Simeon ended up getting that. And I thought, wow, that must be nice to have so much of something that you can just give it away for the benefit of others. I want you to think about that in one particular aspect, about not what it's like to have too much of something important. But do you ever feel like you have too little of something important? And I'm going to give you some very specific things that I want you to think about this in relation to. Do you ever feel like you are somebody who just has too little love for other people? Or you don't have enough joy? Or you don't have enough peace? Or you're someone who doesn't have enough patience? You ever think you're somebody who doesn't have as much goodness as you should? Or kindness? Or faithfulness? Or self-control? I bet you sometimes do. Maybe you often do think that. But in one sense, it's not true. In the same way that Judah had so much of something that they were able to give it for the benefit of somebody else, the book of Romans reminds us that somebody has done the same for you in all those categories. It talks about the righteousness of Jesus. Righteousness is another word for perfection, and all of those things, love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, self-control, gentleness. Jesus had enough to be perfect all the time. But he has so much perfection in all those categories. It doesn't say he just held on to that. It says that through faith in Jesus, Christ's righteousness in all of those categories is credited to you. He gives it to you, and he considers it yours. So that when God looks at you through your faith in Jesus, he only sees somebody who is perfectly loving and joyful and peaceful and patient and good and kind and gentle, self-controlled. That's how he always looks at you in Christ. That's who you always are in Christ. And because Christ came, and because his work is already completed, and because by faith it's already been credited to you and your life, you don't have to feel insufficient anymore, like you're lacking anything. You are perfectly sufficient to go out and be the child of God that God believes you already are. Rest well tonight, my friends.